Hey everyone, and welcome back to Urbex. Continuing my road trip across Tennessee brings us to the Village Green Mall here in Cleveland, Tennessee. This is a very weird mall, but it has some amazing aesthetics, and I would have loved to see it in its heyday. Unfortunately, it seems like that time is long past. This is a very rare example of what malls used to be like way back in their infancy. Think back to the late 1950s and early 1960s, back before all the malls became enclosed. Yeah, your local mall probably started out as an outdoor mall just like this one and then was enclosed at some point. That is, if it's an early example of a shopping mall. It was also really cool seeing these plaques here on one of the buildings commemorating the first airplane to fly in Bradley County. I love it when malls preserve their rich history just like this. And since we're on the subject of rich history, I think it would be very appropriate to get into the mall's history right now. Originally built as the Village Shopping Center, it was Cleveland's first mall. But not only that, it was the first shopping center of its kind to open in Tennessee. This single-level shopping center would be developed by the joint ventures of Cleveland-based Jafco Incorporated and Life and Casualty of Tennessee. Built on a 22-acre site, the mall would open on August 17th of 1961. The mall would hold its grand opening festivities that would extend for 3 days, including a ribbon-cutting ceremony. The ribbon would also be cut by the current mayor of Cleveland, William Fuller. A speech was also given by the mall developer, James F. Kahn. Some other notable attendees would include several people from the Kresge Company and Bradley County officials, city commissioners, and members of the Cleveland Chamber of Commerce. With the mall's festivities winding down, it was now time to focus on one thing: shopping. The original major tenants at the mall would include a one-level 30,000 square foot Knoxville-based Millers Incorporated, a one-level 27,000 square foot SS Kresge's 5 and 10 dime store, and a 14,000 square foot White Stores supermarket. Some of the inline stores would include a Cole Rexall Drugs, Earl's Bakery and Catering Services, Joe Rogers Office Supply, and the Village Green Cafeteria. New stores would be added to the mall during the mid-1960s, with unfinished areas of the mall being completed also during this time. Some of these new tenants would include the Birdcage, Zales Jewelers, Singer Sewing Center, Watson's Supermarket, Hobby Mart, Lemon Tree Shoe Store, and Lay's Clothing. By the late 1960s, the complex was being promoted as the Village Mall. The mall's first and only cinema would be completed at this time, the Atco Theater. It would show its first feature film in 1969 and would be twinned in 1985 and renamed the Village Twin. The first renovation of the Village Mall would be completed in 1971. This would include the Northeast store block that would be gutted and expanded. The area would be rebuilt as a two-level 36,000 square foot Parks Belk store. It was also around this time that an open-air entry hall known as the Arcade would become enclosed and redecorated. These storefronts would be rebuilt in a Bavarian motif. This area would later be renamed to the Swiss Alley. For 13 years, this was Cleveland's only shopping complex. That is, until the Cleveland Mall would open in 1974. Both of these shopping complexes would coexist peaceably, that is, until the Bradley Square Mall would open in 1991, quickly drawing away many of the customers and shoppers from the former malls. Only one anchor tenant ever rebranded, and that was when Miller's would morph into the Allentown-based Hess's on February 1st of 1988. This store would close for good in September of 1990, with Hess's being snatched by Bradley Square. The end of the road for Parks Belk would come in 1992. By this time, the competition from the Bradley Square Mall had sent the Village Mall into a downward spiral. Heading into the mid-1990s, the Village Mall would become mostly vacant. It was on life support. However, hope was on the horizon when the mall would be acquired by financial entrepreneur Alan Jones in August of 1998. This would spark a major renovation and repositioning of the former mall that would be done over the following decade. It would emerge as a high-tech business and professional center with specialty retail and services oriented toward businesses. This is also when it would change its name to the Village Green Town Center. Currently, the facility encompasses 211,000 square feet of leasable space and 27 tenants. Some of these tenants would include Learn Phone, the Village Bake Shop, New Way Weight Loss Centers, WOOP-FM, and Buy Here, Pay Here. Also, an upscale bistro called the Bald Head Bistro would be officially dedicated on September 7th of 2004. Meanwhile, the mall's movie theater had become a Martin Theaters in 1971 and a Carmike Cinemas in 1982. Then, in the early 2000s, the facility was repurposed as the Red Clay Theater, a live performance venue. After a couple of years, the theater would reopen as a full-service event center called the Venue Creekside and be inaugurated on October 16th of 2013. And this brings us to where the mall currently is today. I think this mall had a fascinating history, and for it to survive all this time, going through all the ups and downs that it has, competing against other local malls, and just the architecture in here is spectacular. I mean, when was the last time you walked through a mall that looked like this? And it's indoors, but it's also outdoors. It's fascinating to have been able to walk the corridors of this true gem of a mall. You know, with all that this mall has been through over the decades, I have high hopes that it will continue to grace its visitors with its amazing architectural charm for many more decades to come. And honestly, I kind of wish that this place was a lot closer to where I live, because I would definitely come back for a night tour, because I've seen photographs of it at night and it just looks spectacular. Sadly, it's like, a 6 or 7 hour car ride from where I live, so I don't think I'll be returning anytime soon. But that's going to do it here from the Village Green in Cleveland, Tennessee. If you like this kind of content, you can check out more of my member-exclusive content over on my Patreon or here on my YouTube memberships. There are links on screen and in the description box below. Every little bit and all your support goes to producing these videos. So I just want to give a big shout out to everyone who joined the Tilt Squad. Thank you so much, and I will see you on another episode of Urbex.